Everybody, what is going on? The Catch fam, hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight, man. Hope everyone out there has had a great Wednesday. Hope you guys are getting ready for week 11 of the 2023 fantasy football season. Can't believe we are so far into the season. Can't believe that week 11 is kicking off tomorrow night with a matchup between the Bengals and the Ravens. We got plenty to get into tonight. We got whatever you guys need to get into tonight. That's what we're here for. Fantasy Q&A, week 11. Whatever you guys need. Start, sits, trades. For a lot of you guys, the trade deadline is this week. Maybe not every league, but for a lot of leagues. Roster reviews. How did the waiver wire go? Whatever you guys need. As always, we're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to talk some fantasy football. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into today's news because I do have a couple things to go over, including Deshaun Watson being out for the season. He will undergo season-ending surgery on a broken bone in his throwing shoulder. So, I don't think too many rosters and redraft formats outside of like Superflex and double quarterback leagues were relying on Deshaun Watson at this point in the season. So I don't think it's necessarily the end of the world in that aspect. But how does this affect Amari Cooper? Elijah Moore had a big week last week. David Njoku has been coming on and looking really good as well. How does this affect potentially the run game of the Browns? It's not going to be P.J. Walker, quarterback. Kind of surprising. The Browns are going with rookie DTR, as some of us call him. Tough matchup against the Steelers this week. I think if you own Browns players, maybe outside of Jerome Ford or potentially Kareem Hunt, because the Steelers' defense has been really bad against the run, I think you kind of sit back and see what happens, but it's kind of hard to set Amari Cooper. For a lot of you guys out there, he is like a wide receiver 2 on your roster. So this is a tough situation. Kind of came as a surprise. And we'll just kind of have to kind of sit back and see what happens. But big news. And apparently, that same shoulder that he's been having the issue with got injured in that matchup. In the matchup against the Ravens. And he did finish the game. So, I don't know, man. This has been one of the worst seasons in terms of injuries that I think I've ever seen. But anyways, we'll move on. Let me know if you guys out there have any issues surrounding the Deshaun Watson injury that affected you guys or whatever it may be. And let's see what else we've got. So Justin Fields expected to make the start against the Lions this Sunday. He's missed the past month with that thumb injury. This is good news. A lot of you guys have had Fields sitting on IR. A lot of you guys owe DJ Moore, Cole Kmet. You've had a little bit lower ceilings lately. Maybe not Kmet, but he's been a little bit inconsistent. So this is good news. And you guys know I love my guy, Justin Fields. So I'm excited to see him get back out there in a good divisional matchup against the Lions. So if you own Fields, I think you can start him. But if you have other options that you feel more confident in, you pick someone else up, Sam Howell maybe, a player like that, CJ Stroud, probably can start those guys. Maybe a Kyler hanging around, whatever it is. But I do think that in like Superflex formats, double quarterback formats, you can go ahead and throw Fields out there. Why not? But I think in single quarterback, maybe we give it a week. It's usually what I like to do with a player coming back from injury. But yeah, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, this is good news for sure. All right, what else do we have here? Pat Freiermuth is on track to play Sunday against the Browns. I will say this is an awful matchup. The Browns have been really good against opposing tight ends. So I don't really love that. And I don't know. I think you probably have had someone else in there for Freiermuth anyway. So I don't really want to start Pat Freiermuth unless you're in like a really deep league and you're really, really desperate. Like I'm in a 16-team league, and I have Gerald Everett at tight end, and like he's still hurt. If he doesn't play, like I might have to start Pat Freiermuth. But like, yeah, if you guys have the choice, I don't really want to start him. The Jets held a team meeting, and after the meeting, Michael Carter was released. I don't really know what happened there, but he's been picked up by the Cardinals, so That is interesting and something you guys can keep an eye on, but I don't think it's going to make any major impacts to fantasy. T. Higgins is out for tomorrow's game against the Ravens with that hamstring injury. We weren't really expecting him to be able to play, but if you were, he's not playing. So Matthew Stafford is on track to play in Week 11 against the Seahawks. That's good news for Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Tyler Higbee, whoever, Matthew Stafford owners, whatever. But he should be out there. Keenan Allen is considered day-to-day with a shoulder injury. We'll keep an eye on that. And last but not least, Von A-Chain of the Miami Dolphins expected to play in Week 11. So if you own A-Chain, fire him up. Why not? If you own Mostart, don't panic. I still think Raheem Mostart is startable and a running back that you can continue to play. So should be fine there. Okay, there's your news for the day. Let's talk some fantasy football, guys. Get in the chat. Let me know what's going on. Let me know how you guys are doing. Whatever fantasy questions that you guys have, get them in the chat. Even if, I don't know, if you're feeling pretty confident in your roster, let me know, what your record's looking like. Let me know what your lineup for the week is looking like. And let's just have some fun as always. And let's talk some fantasy football. Ryder, good to see you, bro. What's up? What's up? Josiah, hello. Shane, what's going on, man? Great to see everybody. Trade Amari and Keaton for Garrett. Yeah, it's kind of tough here with the half PPR, full PPR, I'd say go for it. I mean, all season long, guys, I've been a Garrett Wilson fan. Told you guys, I don't think you really need to like there are people saying as soon as Aaron Rodgers got hurt, like you have to trade Garrett Wilson right now. And I was on the other end of that spectrum. I mean, he's given you double digits every game except for 2 this year in full PPR. Half PPR, maybe a little bit different. But yeah, I mean, when it comes like Keaton, not really. I mean, I don't know. I guess I care about Keaton Mitchell, but I think it's so weird with Keaton Mitchell because like in redraft, for example, like Dynasty, yeah, like you hold him no matter what. But redraft, I think like it's kind of difficult because I don't know exactly when are we going to be 100% confident in starting Keaton Mitchell. You still have Gus Edwards there. Justice Hill still getting touches. I wasn't confident in Mitchell against the Browns, and he showed up regardless. I don't know. So I do like Keaton Mitchell. And if the Ravens do ride the hot hand, like they'll get him more touches. But like Gus still scored last week. I tell you guys this year after year, as long as I've been running this channel, like I never trust a Ravens running back. So, but I do like Keaton Mitchell a lot. It's a tough situation to read. It kind of depends. If you're not confident in Keaton's usage, and if you're not confident in Amari Cooper with a carousel of quarterbacks now, then I think it's fine to do. I mean, I feel the most confident in Garrett Wilson's consistency out of these 3 players. So put it that way. Smokey, what's up, dude? How are you doing? Hi, yo, what's up? Happy to help you with any trade questions you have. Davis, what's up, dude? Hello. Okay, sorry, the chat is like repeating all over the place for me. Is Monty a sell? If so, who should I target? Monty's not a sell at all. No. The Lions will run the football enough that Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs can both eat in soft matchups. There's nothing to worry about in competitive matchups. We're still going to see times where Monty outscores Gibbs and vice versa. So, no, this offense is going to run the football a lot. They ran it on 4th and 6 last week against the Chargers. This is the bread and butter of this Lions football team offensively. No reason to sell Monty, especially not like just selling him low. If you get the right offer for any player, I always encourage you guys to consider it. But no, like I don't see any reason to sell David Montgomery right now. Not at all. David, what's good, man? Good to see you. Started 1-6, but team is Dak, JT, Brees, Amon-Ra, CD, Kincaid, Cup with Javonte, Ramondre on the bench. Now up to 4-6. Very nice. Dropped 190 this week in a 10-man full PPR. Let's go. Yeah, pretty good looking roster. Dak and CD have probably been a big part of those wins, but I mean, Kincaid, great. Brees and JT been coming on. Amari's been very consistent. Or, excuse me, Amon-Ra. I don't know why I read that as Amari. You should be in a good spot. I mean, even Javonte and Ramondre have been coming on the last week. So, yeah, I feel pretty good if I were you. Would you trade Puka and Adams for A.J. Brown? Yes. I wouldn't even think about it. I have that, like, tier of players, like A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra, maybe Jamar Chase. There's probably a couple other guys. But CMC, like Eckler, like, yes, I would do it. Like, I think Adams will continue to be fine-ish. Puka will be fine. AJ Brown, maybe get that deal done. You just do it. Yeah. You think Brees Hall will have a good week? Yeah, I do like Brees Hall this week a lot against the Jets or against the Bills. This run defense for the Bills has not been good all season long. All season long. They've just been bad, like straight up. And Javonte Williams and Latavius Murray just had double-digit scores fantasy-wise against this unit. There's nothing about the Bills' run defense that worries me. And I don't know, they just look to be more and more in shambles week after week. They're giving up the 8th most fantasy points to opposing running backs. I love Brees Hall this week. Albert, what's going on, dude? You think Jay Jettis will come back this week versus Denver? It's definitely possible. I don't know. I mean, the possibility's there. Your guess is as good as mine. I hope he does. But he still did it day to day. He's been limited. I don't know. They have a bye week in week 13. It's tough to say. I mean, the Vikings and the Broncos are kind of these two type of teams that are like could be in the playoff hunt, could make a playoff run, whatever. So I think this game's pretty important. I could see JJ coming back this week, but they play the Bears in week 12. That might be a little bit more of an important game because it's a divisional matchup, but then they also have that bye week in week 13. So it's kind of a murky area. But I do think he'll finish out the season for what it's worth, especially if the Vikings continue to win football games. So it's tough to say. He's limited. They're not going to bring him back, and he's not going to play until he's fully ready to go. So it's close, but we'll see what happens. Andrea, hello. Good to see you. All right, 12-man half PPR. We got Goff, Adams, Godwin, Flowers, Pickens, Bijan, Monty, Chandler, Singletary, Charles, Conklin, and Walker. Okay, we'll get to the actual question in a second, I guess. Here, I was trying to skip ahead. But yeah, let me know what trade questions you need. Aaron Reborn, good to see you. What's up? Dominic, Connor, Williams, or Pacheco at RB2? Man, I really want to like Isaiah Pacheco this week, but the matchup's just not there. Eagles, best team in the league in terms of fantasy scoring against running backs. I just don't feel great about it. The Vikings have not been bad against opposing running backs. The Texans haven't been great. So I kind of lean James Conner. Like I know last week wasn't necessarily a great outing fantasy-wise by James Conner, but he still had 16 touches and 73 yards on the ground. Texans come in 18th against the position, so I don't really mind him, but Javonte's getting a lot of work. Vikings are 12th against the position. Javonte had 21 touches last week, 79 rushing yards, 4 receptions, 31 receiving yards, and a score. So I think Javonte and Conner are pretty close here. Whoever you like better. Like I said, Conner has a better matchup. I want to like Pacheco this week. I think there's going to be points in that game, but the matchup is just not there. So I go Javonte or Conner. Eddie, what's up, man? Should I drop Khalil Herbert for Doodle? That's what I like calling him. Should I try to trade Amari Cooper? Yeah, you can make that. You can go in. I mean, are you going to trust Herbert? Have you started Herbert at all this year? Could he come back? I don't know. Donta Foreman looks like he's kind of had the hot hand there. You can make that move if you want to, but don't expect a lot of consistency out of him. Should I try to trade Cooper? You can, but you're just selling him so low right now. The best thing that can happen as an Amari Cooper owner is he has a good week because then he can sell him at a much better price. But you guys know me. I'm just not a big fan of selling players low. It's a pretty good matchup against the Lions. They haven't been great against opposing wide receivers. I just hold him and see what happens. You're just, if you panic right now, you're selling him so low. The target should still be there regardless of who's playing quarterback. I would just hold him. As a Bears fan, I can't wait to see Fields play. I truly believe he could be a generational quarterback. Who do you think I should start out of Fields, Howell, or Tua? Good question. Not Fields, though. I mean, Fields, you guys know, is really big on Fields coming into the year. I'm still rooting for him. But, and like at the end of the day, Tua gives you the most upside here. It's a good matchup against the Raiders. You probably just want to start Tua, but man, I think it's just really tough to set Sam Howell right now. He's the QB3 in fantasy. Okay. The Giants just got obliterated by the Cowboys. 22nd against opposing quarterbacks. Sam Howell's coming off of a monster game. I mean, quite frankly, a couple monster games. I mean, 31 points in week 8, 18 in week 9. I mean, that's fine. 24 last week, though. 312 passing yards, 3 tutties. Man, I don't know. I might just go Sam Howell, but I don't know. I've been pretty stern on starting Tua all year long. Like, if you own Tua, you just start him. Sam Howell's pretty close, though. I might go Sam Howell here. Just because I don't know if there's any fight left in that Giants defense. Washington likes to throw the football first. I'd probably go Sam Howell, but it's super close. You got a great roster in terms of quarterbacks. It'll be tough. Any of these guys can outscore each other, honestly, but I think it's Tua or Sam Howell. You got a coin flip. Either way, you got a really good start. Just give Fields a week, see what happens there. And even then, like, you might want to consider a trade at quarterback if your trade deadline's coming up, because you don't need all 3 of these guys at this point in the season. Who'd you start between Komet, McBride, Schultz? Schultz apparently has a hamstring injury to start the week. Not good. Yeah. I mean, listen, man, this is kind of similar to the last question. Fields, Howell, Tua. Different position, but Komet, McBride, Schultz, 3 really good options. So, I think I lean towards McBride because the volume has just been absolutely massive. The Texans have given up the 7th most fantasy points to the position on the year. The Cardinals are actually top 10 against opposing tight ends. So, the injury popping up there, maybe we just stay off of Schultz this week. Cole Kmet does have a good matchup against the Lions. Hasn't really mattered who's been at quarterback. He's gotten pretty good volume. The Lions are 21st against the position, so, still bottom 12 there and everything. But I just lean McBride. We saw a very promising sign that Kyler Murray was going to target Trey McBride. Don't think that really surprised a lot of people, but there's always a chance with a change at quarterback. Like I told you guys, I don't really like Trey McBride in week 9 against Cleveland with Clayton Tune at quarterback, but was fine with Kyler. It's a good matchup. 9 targets last week, 8 receptions. I'm going to go Trey McBride out of these options. Definitely gives you the most upside, in my opinion. Started Lockett and Doobie, or traded Lockett and Doobie for Swift. W. I would say so. My other wide receivers are Diggs, Keenan, Ridley, Dotson, Downs, Douglas. Yeah, you're good at wide receiver. Running backs are Barkley, B-Rob, Fournette, Mitchell, Herbert. Yeah, you needed running back help more than wide receiver help. I mean, you're starting Diggs and Keenan every week. I do think Lockett and Dobbs were 2 really good flex options, a little bit more consistent than Dotson and Douglas, but you got Downs too, and Ridley been very inconsistent. But yeah, I think this trade is fine for sure. My wide receivers are Hill, Allen, and Moore. At Barkley and Mixon, A-Chain for running backs. Which one do I sit? Probably Barkley. I should have been a little bit heavier on sitting Barkley last week. I mean, I don't know. It's not as bad of a matchup this week, so like I'm okay if you have to start Barkley. Commanders are 19th against the position, so they're not great. Mixon could also be a tough start. That Ravens run defense has been really good. It's a Thursday night game. I don't really like that. But Mixon's been pretty consistent lately, so it's just tough. Like, we know the upside of Barkley, but he does have an ankle injury. And I mean, if I'm Saquon Barkley, like I don't blame the man at all if he does not want to suit up with this Giants offense right now. I don't know. I think I just go Mixon. I think he, at least has a pretty safe shot at getting double digits. And plus, what if Barkley ends up not playing? Also with Barkley, like these veteran running backs, when they have these injuries, like they can usually get through it and play if they want. But if he doesn't play, I won't be surprised. But yeah, seriously though, if he does not play, and then you sat Mixon, like who's going to be your RB2 at that point? So there's also a very slight possibility that Devontae Shane does not play, but I think he will. I think we'll be good there. But I probably said Barkley. Is that crazy? I don't think it is. Dynasty playoffs trade, make people pay up to win 100%. Yeah, I didn't realize that there was a trade deadline on in the Dynasty leagues. I never meant for there to be one. Like, I think you guys should be able to trade all year long. Maybe uh, there should be like no trades during the playoffs. I didn't really think about that, but I mean, in a lot of leagues, Dynasty leagues, there is no trade deadline, and that's kind of what I assumed it was going to be. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. Check out Kareem Hunter, Ty Chandler, and PPR. I'm cooked at running back. Close. If Alexander Madison does not play, I'll go Ty Chandler. If he does, it'll be tough to really like see what the split is. If there is a split. So if he does, I guess I'll go Kareem Hunt. But I like Chandler more if Madison does not play, obviously. Hunt still is a good matchup, but that offense could be a question mark. But if Madison plays, I just don't feel comfortable with Chandler. Caleb, what up, dude? Cook, Mostart, Javonte, Jones, Davis, start 2. I'm still starting Mostart. I'm not starting Cook right now. I mean, I have a bad feeling about this Bills offense right now. I'm not starting him, but I'm not starting Gabe Davis either. I mean, knowing how things go, the Bills will go off this week, but I just think they're so inconsistent outside of like Diggs and Kincaid right now. I mean, you still got to start Josh Allen, but I think I lean Javonte or Aaron Jones. Let's see here. So Aaron Jones this week, pretty good matchup against the Chargers. Last week was pretty disappointing. Okay, fantasy outing, but the Chargers 21st against opposing running backs. It's a good matchup. 9.4 points last week. He's been limited this week. He's probably just fine. But I think Javonte Williams is also just fine. I mean, Javonte has 12 or more fantasy points in his last 3 games with a ceiling of 21 points. Minnesota has been good against opposing running backs, but it's a home game for Denver. I would probably go most starting Javonte if I'm you. But you could go Jones if you want. Thoughts on Diggs and Devontae from here on out? Diggs has been fine. Diggs is fine. I know I just said I was concerned about Buffalo, but I'm not concerned about Diggs. Devontae, far, far, far lower ceiling, but he's fine. Like, it just sucks. Like, you're just not going to get the same ceiling out of him that you drafted him for, but he's okay. Full PPR, that is. Orak, what's up? Need 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. Chase Allen, those are your 2 wide receivers. 2 running backs. Tough decision there. Tough decision, that running back. I mean, I might seriously start Chase Allen, Henry, Kenneth, White. But I don't know. If you don't like Kenneth Walker this week, I can understand that. This is where that, schedule starts to get a little bit tougher. But the Rams are still, they're 11th against the position. They're good. They're not as good as some of the teams coming up. I still like Walker this week. I think he's still startable. It is an away game. I'm okay with Walker. I don't know. I just think it's really tough to bench Henry, White, and Walker right now. I mean, White has a very bad matchup against the Niners, but man, his PPR value has been out of the roof. I keep starting him. So I guess I go Chase, Keenan Allen, White, Henry, Kenneth. But you do have some intriguing options as well. Craig, what's up? Who do I start this week? 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. Eckler, Swift. There's your running backs. You do have some good options here. Henry, Connor. See, Ayuk, Adams, Addison, Collins, Kincaid. Wonder who your other tight end is. Has to be pretty good if you're considering flexing Kincaid. So this is tough because, once again, you still have Derrick Henry here. You can always start Derrick Henry. Competitive game for Swift. I want Swift in my lineup this week, though. This is tough. I start Ayuk. But yeah. If Collins plays, I want to start Oh, man, this is a tough one. Because I don't even mind Addison this week. I really don't. Yeah, okay enough game last week. And yeah, I don't love Adams, but he still had 13 targets last week and 86 receiving yards. Is a good, they're going to be playing from behind this week against the Dolphins. I'll go Eckler, Swift, Ayuk, Adams. That flex spot is going to be tough. Henry, Addison, Collins, Kincaid. There's a shot at any of these guys. I mean, you're in a position where like everyone across the board here could outscore each other. So I'll probably go Eckler, Swift, Ayuk, Adams. It's full PPR. I'd probably go Nico. But I won't be surprised if Henry outscores some of these guys or even Addison or Kincaid for that matter. I don't mind James Conner this week. Very, very tough calls there, Craig. Shane, I can't trust a Ravens wide receiver. I know. I benched Zay Flowers this past week, and he turned out to have a pretty good game by his standards so far this year. Bateman is like non-existent, and Odell Beckham is like scored in 2 games in a row. I mean, unless it's Lamar or Mark Andrews, like you just can't have trust in the Ravens offense. If Alexander can't go on Sunday night, would you go with someone like Royce Freeman or Gibson, or would you pick up Minnesota's backup Chandler or backup to Chandler? No, I would only trust Ty Chandler in my lineup with Alexander Madison out this week. I would pick up Antonio Gibson. I like him this week. So yeah, I think Gibson's fine. He's been good the past 2 weeks. He's getting more involved in the passing game. Gibson's good to go. Spence, Draymond suspended 5 games. What a crazy, crazy situation last night. They probably deserved it, right? What's up, Spence? Thanks for the NBA update. Or pick up Latavius Murray. No, I would go Antonio Gibson. I mean, Murray was just benefited from James Cook fumbling early and a good matchup against the Broncos' run defense, but I don't really trust him. Traded Monty for Zay Flowers and Foreman. What do you think? In redraft? I would rather have Monty. Dynasty, that's probably okay because you get Flowers, but I prefer Monty, but I don't think it kills you by any means. I mean, Foreman, I think the Bears are going to go with Foreman for majority of the rest of the season. And Flowers is a floor play on a weekly basis. So if he accepts the trade for A.J. Brown, I'll be left flexing Keaton Mitchell or Noah Brown. I would rather flex Noah Brown. I mean, I like Keaton Mitchell, but I think it's really tough to trust him in fantasy. I'd roll Noah Brown for now. This is another matchup against the Cardinals where it's a good matchup, and I think the Texans are going to have to continue to throw the ball. So for now, I'd flex Noah Brown. Start Goff or Dobbs? Good question, but I go Jared Goff here. I like Dobbs this week. I think you can start him in single quarterback leagues. I think he's very startable in super flex, double QB leagues, but I like Goff. The Bears are giving up the second most points to opposing quarterbacks fantasy-wise so far on the season. Great matchup, and Goff just plays really well at home. Give me Goff. But I'm not out on Josh Dobbs. Patrick, hello. Tim and PPR have an open IR spot. Freiermuth or Herbert? Current RBs are Eckler, Monty, Connor, Cook, Charb. Tight ends are McBride and Thomas. I don't think you can really stash Freiermuth is the problem. He's probably going to be activated this weekend, and if he's not, he'll be activated next weekend. So, I think it would hurt you to stash Freiermuth. Any moment, he'll be moved from an IR designation to no designation. I think Sleeper already has him projected, points, which you don't really see a lot for players on IR. All the signs are trending towards he plays this weekend. So, if you put him on IR right now, that's fine. But then, you're not going to be able to make any roster adjustments if he does get activated. So, I kind of prefer to, roster Freiermuth over Khalil Herbert. But I think in your situation, you throw Herbert on IR. Who could also come back soon, right? He might be back this week. So, I don't know if it's really going to matter. But I guess I prefer Freiermuth. Birdman, what's up? Hello. David, I have Burrow, Eckler, Brees, AJ Brown, Amon, Raw, Hawkinson, T-Law, and Superflex. Got Higgins and Jay Jettis. Kick it on the bench, Javante, 10-man league. Jeez. Do you have a winning record? Because that team is absolutely loaded. I mean, I don't think you need to make any moves or anything here. I think your team looks good. You have a winning record. I think you're in a great spot, man. Washington Lions defense. So yeah, Washington's been a really hot name in terms of streaming defenses this week. I don't really trust them. They've been really bad all season long. Like I always talk about this, like, we just saw the Giants get obliterated. Dallas's defense put up a lot of fantasy points, and now it's like following week, just start whoever's playing the Giants. It just doesn't always work like that. I do think there's some upside involved in Washington's defense this week, but I just don't trust them. Divisional games are always weird, especially in the NFC East. The Washington Commanders are the third worst team defensively, defensive team, however you want to say it, in the entire league this year. They have the third fewest points scored fantasy-wise. They had a good start against Arizona and Denver and then just completely fell off. I just don't trust it. I really don't. I do think there's some upside here. They actually played kind of okay, I guess, against Seattle, but they still ultimately had 0 fantasy points, so not really. I don't trust them. I just don't. I don't think that they're a good defense to pick up and stream this week. They didn't make the video for me. I don't like them. I like the Lions a lot, though. But yeah, when we look at Washington so far on the season, position by position, it's been ugly. It really, they're giving up the most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks so far on the season. They're like right up there with Philadelphia in terms of the most points to wide receivers so far on the season. And they have been okay-ish against running backs. Like, I guess we can give them that. They're 19th in the league. So, like, still not good. I just don't trust them. I don't. I think there's some hidden upside here, but there's just so much risk. I don't trust them. You got to remember, Montez Sweat's gone. Chase is gone. I don't trust it. Lions defense, like I did like more going into the week. If like we knew Justin Fields wasn't going to play, like we knew there was a possibility. Now we know he's probably going to play, but I still like them. I will go. Justin Fields has been making mistakes his first game back. I will go with the Lions defense. They've been much better on the season. Chandler, James Cook. Chandler, if Madison does not play, if he does, it's probably still Cook. Coin flip. PPR, start one running back, one flex. We got Jones, White, JSN, Deontay, Noah Brown. Already starting Nico if he plays. Yeah, I would start Rachaad White as your RB. I'd probably go Deontay Johnson. I know last week was bad, but I think you give him another shot this week. I'll probably go Deontay Johnson here. I think he's fine to go. I mean, he gets the Browns. If you don't like the matchup, Noah Brown against the Cardinals will probably have a good game. So JSN is also intriguing. I know last week was a little bit disappointing. I expected JSN to have a bigger game last week than he did. But, these things happen. But, man, the Rams have also been top 10 against opposing wide receivers. So you might want to go Rachaad White and Noah Brown if we're looking at matchups. GT Sport, hello. Pick 2, Connor, White, Najee. This is tough. I'm keeping Rachaad White. If it's full PPR, I'm keeping him in my lineups. I don't know. We could see a game like similar to last week where like the running back just gets game scripted out. The offense can't do anything. I just think that those checkdowns are going to be there for Rachaad White. And, the Buccaneers have a weird way of staying in football games and playing from behind. So I think White will be okay because he gets involved in the passing game. He's just been good lately. But Connor got a lot of touches last week. It's a pretty decent matchup for him this week. I don't mind him, but Najee's looked good, man. I mean, Najee and Warren have both looked really good. So it is a tough matchup for them. But the Browns, I don't know. They've looked a little suspect lately on defense. I'd probably go Connor and White, but it's very close with Najee Lumen. You think the Jets defense is okay this week? I don't really want to drop anyone. They're okay. Just okay to me. Like, I mean, I know that we think about this Jets defense as like really, really good, and they are much better than the offense. But they haven't had double digits in fantasy since week 6, surprisingly, against Philly. And they've only hit double digits 3 times this year. So in the last 3 weeks, 9, 7, and 9 points. They do get Buffalo this week, who, I mean, we've all seen the struggles with Buffalo as of late, especially in this past week. And I mean, they did allow 10 fantasy points to the Denver Broncos, even with giving up 369 total yards of offense. So I think they're okay. They are still like defense 8 in fantasy, so they're okay. 8-chain a go or no? 8-chain is definitely a go. Barkley screwed me 2 weeks in a row. It's just tough to bench a player like that, but we got to look at this situation a little bit more closely, right? George, what's up? Full PPR. Pick one flex. White, Collins, Brown, Keaton Mitchell. I have Puka and Keenan as wide receiver 1 and 2. Holland Pollard as RB 1 and 2. What would you change? Nah, I probably wouldn't change anything. You could change Nico for Puka if you want. And then I would probably flex Rashad White or Nico. But I do like Noah Brown this week. It's just a good matchup. If it was like just kind of a subpar matchup or a bad matchup, I probably wouldn't be as high on Noah Brown. But I think he's okay to start. You could even go. I think you could seriously, like, if you want to go Keenan Allen, or Nico Collins, Keenan Allen, Hall, Pollard, and flex Noah Brown. I think you could bench Puka, but I think with Stafford coming back, you probably start Puka, Keenan, Hall, Pollard. I probably flex Nico Collins in full PPR, but you have good options, and I do like Rashad White this week. Would you trade for Jalen Warren? Sure, he's a low end RB2. I mean, he'd be high end, but he's a low end because like I know Jalen Warren was named the starter, but I don't think the split's really going to change that much between him and Najee Harris. So he's still a low end RB2 for that reason, but he has immense handcuff value. Like Najee, something happens to Najee, like Jalen Warren's usage is going to go through the roof. But yeah, he's going to be a fine RB2 the rest of the season. Chiefs kicker, Lions kicker, or Browns kicker. I definitely go with Dustin Hopkins with the Browns. He's been great all season long. Just roll with him. Pick 2, Connor White, Najee, 8-chain. I will go, just give me the upside. Give me Rashad White and 8-chain. Chase, what's up, dude? Would you trade ETN for Mahomes? Sure, I guess. An RB like Pacheco or Javante. Oh, yeah, if you get Mahomes and one of those running backs, sure. I mean, I think ETN will be fine. Like, I don't know. You're going to have these games with running backs where they just get game scripted out. Was on such a great pace and got smacked with 10 or 6.4 points last week because he got game scripted out. But ETN is a start on a week-to-week basis, so I don't know. For Mahomes, it's probably worth it though. And at least if you didn't get the second running back, then maybe not. But I think it's okay. Am I crazy for wanting to start Hal over Hurts this week? No. I mean, Kansas City's defense has been really good all season long across the board against all positions. Hal is a great matchup. He's probably really safe, but I'm still expecting points in that matchup between the Chiefs and the Eagles. So if you want to go Hurts, that's fine. He's Jalen Hurts. If you want to start Hal, it's also okay. I think Hurts is the QB2 and Hal is the QB3. I mean, I guess that could always come down to scoring format. But yeah, Hurts is QB2, Hal is QB3. It's a better matchup on paper for Hal. Pierce, Singletary, and Hendo. Probably will Singletary. Yes. I think Singletary, they're going to continue to ride that hot hand. I could be wrong. But I think they're going to continue to roll with the hot hand of Singletary, even if Pierce comes back. And it's another good matchup this week. I mean, it's been just a very, very bad run defense in the Arizona Cardinals. So, yeah, I say Singletary. Doodle or Charby? I don't know if this week's matchup for the Cowboys is going to be as much of a blowout necessarily. I mean, they're still playing the Panthers, but the Panthers have like a weird way of creeping into games, kind of. I mean, I know that game against the Colts probably in everyone's mind, but a lot of games this year where like they've been really bad and like they play from behind and kind of find a way to get in. So I don't know how much Doodle's going to be involved, but I don't really trust Charbs either. So I guess Doodle because the Panthers' run defense been so bad. And yes, I know his name's not actually Doodle, but pick one, JSN, Dotson, or Watson. Don't talk to me about Christian Watson, please. JSN, JSN. But Dotson should be interesting. I think this could be a week where Dotson scores for what it's worth, but I go JSN. What do you think if I trade more Barkley and Collins for Brees Hall and Amon Ra? I'd do it. Amon Ra's in that tier of guys like, yeah, give him to me. I don't really care what I gave up. So, yeah, I'd do it. Waddle, Kirk, DJ Moore. Give me Christian Kirk. No reason to ever bench Christian Kirk at this point in the season. Why? No point. Sleepy, hello. Would you all trade Dobbs for Fields straight up? Love Fields' playoff schedule. Sure. I mean, if Dobbs is not your QB1, more than likely he's not, then yeah, why not? But I think Dobbs is going to be fine the rest of the season. I'm the one that traded for Monty. Oh, okay. Good trade. I like that trade. Good job, Shane. My bad. Do I trade Mostart for White? You could. I have 2 on Waddle on my team. I mean, I think Mostert's going to continue to be fine. He was fine before, even when Devon Chain was popping off. His offense scores a lot of points. They do like to run the football. They get up early on teams. They use the running backs in the red zone. I think Mostert will be fine. I think Rachaad White will be fine the rest of the year as well. So you can. I think that's kind of a lateral trade, though, to be honest. But, yeah, White has less competition in his backfield. So I think that's okay. Gibson over Cook if you want. I don't have. I mean, James Cook has been fine, but his usage has been awful. And I don't know, those fumbles were an issue last week. He's really lucky that last one didn't get away from him. And even then, it still wasn't good. I mean, he turned it into a huge gain, but I mean, he had 12 fantasy points last week. His usage just stinks, man. It's not. He gets the Jets this week. He gets Philly next week. He gets a bye week. Then he gets the Chiefs, and he gets Dallas. All tough matchups. And he gets Chargers, good matchup. He gets New England, pretty good matchup. The Jets are okay against the run. They're not great, but yeah, it's just not a good upcoming schedule. Gibby gives you a little bit more upside at least, right? I mean, he gets the Giants this week before he faces Dallas, which is bad. Then he gets Miami, good. A bye week Rams, bad. Then the Jets, okay. Then the Niners, bad. So it's not like his schedule's great. This week, though, I go Gibson. Gibbs or Monty? How am I supposed to answer this question? Start them both. Gibbs has more upside right now. You know, they're unleashing him. Monty's still going to get his. But you have to look at some of those runs last week that Monty had. It's like there's no way he's not going to be involved. His touchdown run might be the best touchdown run of this whole season. It's got to be up there. And that play call on, what was it, 4th and 6? 4th and 4? I mean, that is the type of confidence that Dan Campbell has in his players right now. Monty's still going to get his, but I still think the upside play right now is Gibbs. Cook is Cook, guys. Move on. Yeah, he probably is, Kels. Do we trust Keaton Mitchell this week? Not really. I mean, you had to be pretty ballsy to throw Keaton Mitchell out there last week. It's a Thursday night game. The Bengals haven't been great. They're always one of these defenses that's like really good at times and really disappoints us when we don't expect it. Maybe this past week against the Texans they did. I don't know. Keaton Mitchell's fine, but we have to remember he only had 3 touches last week, and then he had 1 reception. So it's not like I don't know, and he was really good on those 3 touches, and they just didn't involve him in the second half at all. And he had 9 touches the week before, mostly in garbage time. According to reports, he's going to be more involved this week. But, I mean, Justice Hill still had 2 touches last week, which isn't a lot, but it's 1 less touch, technically, that Mitchell had the past week. And he had 13 touches in week 9. And Gus the Bus is still the #1 running back on this team, and he's the RB8 in fantasy. So, do I trust him? No. Will I be surprised if he has a good game? No. Will I be surprised if he has a bad game? No. Tough player to own in redraft right now. Good player to have in Dynasty. Niners or the Lions this week? Nah, I'll stick with the Niners, but I do like the Lions. Would Saquon and Barkley for A.J. Brown be a better trade? I think you mean a different player. Saquon and Barkley are the same players. You get A.J. Brown, though. Yes, I like that. Mr. Jones, what's up? Miami, a good defense this week. I'm streaming them, so hopefully. I mean, I think they're okay. I mean, I've gotten a lot of questions about Miami this week. And, like, yeah, the Raiders aren't good. They're also, like, not bad. The Miami Dolphins have the 10th fewest points in the league in terms of defensive fantasy points. So, like, I don't know. I don't really like the Dolphins. I've gotten a lot of questions about them. They do play the Raiders, the Jets, Commanders, the Titans, and the Jets again before they face the Cowboys and Ravens, who you're not starting them against. So, like, they do have a soft schedule, but I don't trust them. They haven't been good this year. I mean, when we look at it, breakdown by position, they're 14th against opposing running backs, which is not bad by any means. I guess they're 16th against wide receivers, not bad, but it's not like either of those are necessarily good. And then when it comes to opposing quarterbacks, they're bottom 12. And against opposing tight ends, they're 17th. So once again, not good, but not necessarily bad. I mean, they have upside because they have a good schedule. But I don't know. I have a bad feeling they could be a little bit disappointing. But I mean, if you own them, they're worth holding right now because the schedule is so soft. But I don't know if I trust them. Trade deadline is Saturday. Which player should I look to trade away? Pollard, Godwin, Rice, or Geno? I'd keep Rashee Rice for sure. You can move on from Geno. I have no faith in Geno Smith. He did give us a good performance this past week against Washington, though. You move on from Pollard or Godwin if you want. Yeah, I mean, if you can get an upgrade at any position for those three players, because I wouldn't trade Rice, I say go for it, man. Russell or T-Law? Guys, what is happening to my boy Trevor? Can Trevor Lawrence bounce back? Chat, I mean, let me know. Does anyone in the chat trust Trevor Lawrence? I'm so disappointed in Trevor Lawrence. It's not even funny. I mean, he's a QB 18. Could be worse. He gets Tennessee, Houston, Cincy, Cleveland, Baltimore, Tampa Bay, Carolina. It's kind of an up and down schedule. Russ, I guess. He's the QB 14. It's not much better, but it is better. He gets Minnesota, Cleveland, Houston, LA Chargers, Detroit, New England, LA Chargers. Kind of up and down, but better. I mean, good matchup against Minnesota, good matchup against Houston, good matchup against Chargers, Detroit, New England, Chargers. Really, the only one we're worried about is Cleveland. Yeah, I'll go Russ. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I'll go Russ. I literally cannot believe what happened with Trevor Lawrence this season. But the season's not over. Okay, let's move on. Would you trade A-Chain and Debo for Walker and Lamar? It depends on how bad you need Lamar. But I kind of want to hold Devon Achane right now. Depends on how bad your quarterback situation is, though, I guess. I think, like, Debo for Lamar is fine. A-Chain for Walker. I'd rather have A-Chain for the upside, but I think Walker's okay, even with a bad schedule coming up. What to do with DK and Hollywood? Give Hollywood some time. That chemistry with Kyler will come back. He'll be okay. DK, just a low-end wide receiver 2 every week. Ceiling is basically non-existent, but you can start him. If you want to trade one of these guys, the cherry on top, go for it. Team of 7-3 includes Kyler, Pickett, C-Mac, Pittman, Smith, Rice, Lockett, Madison, Freeman, Gibson, Komet, Schultz, McBride, Minshew, Dotson, Mario, Myers, Baltimore Ravens defense. I mean, team looks okay to me. If you're 7-3, I think you're good to go. Trust the process, right? Kansas City, Jacksonville, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh. Yeah. If you guys have the Steelers, I mean, their defense has been good this year. Defense 4 in fantasy. The Browns are starting a rookie quarterback. Just start the Steelers. I would hold Kansas City, though. Start the Doobie, Cooks, or JSN. Nah, that's actually kind of tough. That's kind of tough. You have kind of like, I don't know, you could go a couple of different directions here. It's hard to trust Romeo Doubs. He's got a great matchup. And he gets those red zone targets, but then it's like once he scores a touchdown, he gets like 1 or 2 more catches in the game, and it's like over. I don't understand it. It's a great matchup. The Chargers secondary is giving up the 4th most fantasy points on the season to wide receivers. So, it's close. But Cooks, yeah, I mean, Cooks has looked good. You know, the week I told everyone to start him, he did nothing, and he bounced back last week. So, that's natural. But I think Cooks is startable. But the Panthers have actually been really good against opposing wide receivers all year long. Second best team in the league. Second fewest points to opposing wide receivers so far on the year. JSN, I think, is startable. Like, I don't mind starting JSN this week, but the Rams are top 10 against opposing wide receivers, so I don't know. I probably go Dobbs. I just go Dobbs. Safest floor, best matchup. Yeah, I think Rico's fine to hold, but a lot of like good fantasy performances have kind of come in garbage time. Pollard hasn't looked good. I get it, but he's okay. He's a good roster move right now, but I'm not going to start him. Space Ghost, Coast to Coast. What's up? Hope you're having a great night as well. Drop Dotson for Boyd, Brown, or Cooks. I will go get Brown. Like, I'm high on Noah Brown. Great matchup this week if you need to play him. And the Texans are just going to continue to throw the football. We know that. Dotson is, you just got a lot of like, I don't know, up and down guys here. Boyd's going to take a big hit when Higgins comes back. It's not like he has a good matchup this week. Cooks, volatile. Brown and Dotson are volatile. Brown and Dotson are part of the offenses that will throw the football the most, I think, though. Andrea, Hurts or Kyler Murray? I go Hurts. I'm expecting points in that game. I'll go Hurts. Space Ghost, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. Monty, Cook, Hendo, Hunt, Chandler. Cut McLaurin, Lockett, Flowers. Okay. I definitely start Monty. RB2 is tough, man. You could go Cook, but I just don't love him. Hunt has a good matchup, but what's the ceiling there with backup quarterback? He didn't even get he found the end zone last week. He does that, but he doesn't get a ton of touches. Ty Chandler's probably who I would go with if Madison does not play. But that RB2 spot is tough for you, man. I'll go Kupp with staph infection coming back. I'll start McLaurin. Great matchup for McLaurin against the Giants this week. And I'd probably flex one of those other 2 wide receivers. Lockett's due for a bad game because he's had 2 good games in a row. But you could probably start him if you want. Flowers, I'll say this much. Flowers is the floor play, the safer play. Lockett gives you more upside, but more risk as well. So whatever you think you need. Nico, White, Johnson, Godwin, Watson, pick one in the flex and half PPR. Probably Nico Collins, but Rashad White's okay. Dobbs, Jason, Chandler, pick one. I'll go Dobbs. Does anything need to change for the 7-3 team? No, I like your squad. Next 12, should I play Taysom Hill or Schultz? Probably Schultz. I knew Taysom was going to screw us at some point. Meant Barkley and more for Brown. Or Barkley and more for Amon-Ra and Hall. Either way, I would do either trade. Barkley and Amon-Ra are in a tier up here. Everyone else mentioned is somewhere lower. So I would do either trade, whichever one you can pull off. Niners or Miami, I'd stick with the Niners. Brendan, what's up, dude? Dynasty PPR, I'm 7-3. First place, traded Connor for McBride. Nice. Tight ends now are McBride, Kmet, Waller, Musgrave. Nice. RBs are Etienne, Kamara, Monty, Mitchell. I think that's fine. I value the running back position the least in Dynasty. If it's tight end premium, then your tight ends hold much more value. Yeah, I think the trade's fine. I like Connor, but he's kind of a dying asset, so to speak. You have decent enough running backs. You've enough win now running backs. Trey McBride, whether you're contending or not, the more valuable player here. Drop Jason for Chandler only if you're desperate at running back, and the whole situation with Alexander Madison makes it a little bit more risky. Stephen Drakes with the super chat. Thank you so much for the $4.99 donut emojis in the chat for Stephen. All right, let's see what we got here. Would you flex Hendo or Amari? Also need 3 wide receivers. So let's start with the first one, Hendo or Amari. So Henderson is tough to trust, I guess. I mean, I guess we don't really have an update on Kyron Williams coming back this week. Because if Kyron plays, obviously we don't like Hendo, which is why I haven't been as strong on him. But yeah, he's not expected back this week, so that's my bad, I guess. If you guys own Henderson, I do like Henderson because Seattle's been really soft against opposing running backs. They're 26 against the position. He didn't do much in his last matchup, but he still got 10 touches. So you kind of have to look at it this way, and I'm going to assume it's half PPR, right? At the end it says half PPR, but half PPR, I generally gravitate towards running backs. So I'll go Hendo. But yeah, what I was going to say is do you trust Amari Cooper at the backup quarterback? Do you think he'll make enough out of the potential targets there or not? I guess I'll lean Henderson here. It's a better matchup and it's half PPR. Also need 3 wide receivers: Deontay, Dell, Nico, Noah Brown. If you play Andrews and McBride together, I think you can. Wide receivers, half PPR. I'm looking for guys who can stumble into the end zone. Is it crazy to start Nico, Tank Dell, and Noah Brown against the Cardinals, giving up the 4th most points to the position? I don't think it's crazy. I like them more than Deontay Johnson. It is risky to start that many players on the same offense. I might do it, though. Chat, do you think that's crazy? I mean, Deontay gets the Browns. They're the 3rd best team against opposing wide receivers. He really struggled last week against the Packers, who are giving up who are the 4th best team. So it's not that much of a difference. And it's half PPR. Deontay's more of a full PPR type player. Give me the Texans wide receivers. Why not? I do seriously think it's the better move. It's a great matchup. So let's go Hendo. Give me the Texans wide receivers, all 3 of them. And you can start Andrews and McBride for sure. For sure. Stephen, once again, thank you for the super chat. And let me know if you need anything else. Randall, would you trade CMC, Andrews, Hurts for Mahomes and Kelsey? I'm a Chiefs fan. No. I don't think I would do it. I don't think I would do it because you're losing CMC. I don't think it's worth it. You're losing the RB1. Mahomes is the QB8. Hurts is the QB2. And they both had their bye week at the same time. Andrews is the tight end 2. Kelsey is the tight end 3. So he did miss that one game and played poorly fantasy-wise against Miami. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Don't do it. You're losing CMC. Don't do it. And yeah, Statistically, Hurts has been better than Mahomes. Andrews has been better than Kelsey. I wouldn't do it. Hard because you're a Chiefs fan, but don't do it. Josh, I trade Rachaad White, Chuba, Kirk for Kupp, Sutton, Cook. Also Jacobs, Javonte, Edwards. Yeah. I'd rather have White than Cook. I'd rather have Cortland Sutton than Chuba. Kupp versus Kirk, there's an argument either way, I think, but Kupp has more upside. You guys know me, I'm a Christian Kirk stan, but I mean, he has been great all season long. So, man, it's probably fine. I think you lose at running back because I would far rather have Rachaad White than James Cook. Chuba, you win on that aspect. It's a pretty good trade. Pretty good trade. Jacobs, Javonte, Edwards, Cook. Yeah, it's fine. Trade Lamar and Kyron for Jalen Hurts. 1 QB start 9. Rocking with Monty, Amon-Ra, Puka, Olave, Higgins, Rice, Godwin, JT. You can. I mean, you're getting an upgrade at quarterback if you really want to go out and do it. But, I mean, Lamar's still the QB5, even with having 15 or less fantasy points in his last 3 games. But if you feel that good about Hurts, I think it's okay. I do think Kyron will. Oh, it's Dynasty. I'd rather have Hurts than Dynasty. Sure, go for it. If you were looking to shop one, who would it be? Kyron, Monty, or Brees? Man, those guys are all kind of in similar tiers. I guess Kyron because he's coming off injury. I don't feel good about trading any of those guys. If you have all 3, I can see why. Trade Godwin and Geno for Higgins. Nah. Sure. But Higgins going to be really tough to trust coming off this injury. So maybe not. If he wasn't injured, yes. Since he is, I don't know if I trust him. Bijan is on bye, so it's tough. Might be out of playoffs anyway. I'm still happy for your input, 100%. Set the best possible lineup you can and don't look back. All right. Sorry. Chat is repeating for me. Got to get caught back up here. All right. I was like, I know I'm not that far behind in the chat. Traded Tua, Kelsey, Henry, Waddle for Tyreek, Diggs, Swift, Pollard. So we've got Kyler, Howe. We have so many quarterbacks. Russ, White, Najee, Ford, Deontay, Olave, Kincaid, McBride. I mean, losing Kelsey kind of sucks, but you have Kincaid and McBride, so I think you're fine. You got Tyreek and Diggs. I would say I like this trade for you. Losing Kelsey still sucks because you know what you get every week, but Kincaid, McBride, you're probably okay. I like this trade. Yeah. You got the best players in Tyreek and Diggs, so I like this trade. Semi-roster and roster reviews, but what do you think is a good trade for Dobbs would be PPR? I just think Dobbs would be really valuable in Superflex paired with JJ when he's back. Were you receiving? Oh, see, I read it wrong. When you said on the top, I thought you meant you were receiving Breece Hall, trading away Dobbs. I wouldn't trade Breece Hall for Dobbs. I mean, I'd like Dobbs. I mean, I don't know. It kind of depends on your entire. Oh, it's a different league. I see it at the bottom of the chat now. Oh, it's in roster reviews. Okay. I got you. Oh, look, I'm on the screenshot. Let's go. Okay. Who could you trade for? Our boy Josh Dobbs. Pickens. Just get rid of Pickens. Get him off your team. Get Ridley off your team. Oh, you have JJ. I see what you're saying. I don't know, man. You got Burrow. Can you stack? Can you try and trade Carr? Trade Carr with one of those volatile wide receivers. Pickens, Judy. I mean, you kind of got to keep someone because you need a wide receiver too. Your wide receivers are really weak on this squad. I guess you keep Ridley, keep Josh Downs, but yeah, if you can like throw Judy with Carr, Pickens with Carr, I think you do it. But yeah, the only risk there is you're kind of weak. You're just weak at wide receiver, but you don't really have running back depth either, and you can't trade Dallas Goedert because like he's hurt. No one wants him. You kind of need him behind Logan Thomas, so. You got to keep Puka. I would take one of those volatile wide receivers, try and move him with Carr. You could probably get it done. The team needs a wide receiver help enough. Noah Brown over Deontay this week. I'd probably do it. All right, trade Fields, Tony, and Kincaid for Ingram and Amon-Ra. Got Dak and Andrew. Got Bijan White Ford. My wide receivers are Smith, Moore, Nico. Won't be starting Kincaid or Fields. Is that Kadarius Tony? I mean, yeah, you're going to get Amon-Ra. Ingram's been very consistent. Kincaid has more upside. Yeah, you're going to get Amon-Ra. You're getting the best player in the trade here. Sure. Dobbs or Russ this week? I probably still go Dobbs. But I do think Russ is streamable. Thoughts on Devontae Diggs and Gibbs for CMC and Amon-Ra? Wow. I mean, that's a big trade. There's going to be winners on both sides here. But yeah, I mean, listen, CMC and Amon-Ra are in like that top tier. Gibbs might be close. Diggs is probably very close. Diggs should even be in it for me. I don't know. I would do the trade, sure, but for the rest of the season, at times, all these guys are going to have very good moments and very good games. But I really, really personally like CMC and Amon-Ra. Yeah, I'm sure JJ and Puka for a minute was great for you. Yeah, it happens, but I think if you stack Carr with one of those guys that whoever you start the least out of those wide receivers. I mean, even if it's like Josh Downs, like you start him the least, like you don't have the confidence, but I think there's some more volatile names there. Keaton Mitchell or Ty Chandler. I would start Ty Chandler if Alexander Madison does not play. If he plays, then he can go Keaton Mitchell, I guess. But yeah, it's just tough to trust Keaton Mitchell. And I never like Thursday night games ever. I just always get a weird feeling. The Bengals are 17th against the position, so not good, not bad, not great. However you want to look at it. I'd probably go Ty Chandler, but if Madison plays, then I don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we made it to the bottom of the chat. We're over an hour, so that's usually when I cut it off. If you guys need anything last second, make sure to get it in like right now because we're going to go ahead and wrap up for the night. So waiver wire video is out for the week. You guys probably don't need that at this point in the week. It's out. Must start defenses is out, and I don't know. I have some defenses on there that not as many people are talking about going in the week. So a lot of people are talking about like Washington, Miami. I didn't talk about either of those teams, so you guys might want to check that out. And must start running backs is out as well for the week, and must start wide receivers will drop tomorrow, and we'll go from there. I will be out of town tomorrow, so I will not be streaming. So if you guys need anything, drop a comment on any of the YouTube videos for the week. Or get on our Discord. If you guys have not joined our Discord, link is down below. It is completely free to join. You can ask me a question on one of the threads in there. Just be sure to tag me because I might not see it if you don't tag me. And yeah, if you guys are new to the channel, hope you guys enjoyed the stream tonight. Hope you guys consider subscribing. And hope you guys will be back for more. And if you guys are not new to the channel, thank you for being here. Be sure to hit the like on the way out. And like I said, Discord link is down below and our Instagram link is down below. You guys can reach me on both of those platforms as well. Andrew, have a good night. Always good to have you. Ryder, have a great night. 6-point touchdown league. I have Goff, T-Law picked up free agency Dobbs. T-Law's been producing. Should I drop T-Law? I mean, you can. Oh, I can't believe it. You have Goff. Goff's been great this year. You have Dobbs. You can do it. Nah, it pains me. You can do it. Shane, yes. I will do a roster review for you. I like when you guys take the screenshots and I'm on there. Makes me laugh. Both of you guys did it tonight. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Okay, it's working. All right, so this is like super tiny for you guys, but whatever. We got, and this is just a normal redraft. Yeah, redraft PPR 12 team. So we've got Russ, Connor, Henry, Evans, Deontay, Schultz, Brown, Monty in the next flex, Moody, Miami's defense, Chuba, Bijan, Noah Brown, Taysom Hill. So, I mean, man, what happened at quarterback? Just rolling with Russ. Okay. It's a good matchup for Russ this week. I think he's a fine streaming option. So the upside won't be crazy, I don't think, but he's fine to start. Connor, I like this week. Good matchup. Henry, bad matchup, but you know it's Henry. You can always start him. Mike Evans, you're rolling Mike Evans every week at this point, right? Deontay's okay, but yeah, if you want to go Noah Brown over Deontay, the matchup's much better. And Deontay struggled last week. It's another tough matchup this week, so I don't mind him. Or I don't mind Noah Brown over him. Dalton Schultz, in your situation, you just start Dalton Schultz. You take what you get, right? Hollywood, I do think will be better than last week. I don't think there's anyone worth flexing. You're not starting Chuba against the Cowboys over Hollywood. Miami's fine. Jake Moody's fine. Yeah. Oh, you had Watson. Okay, that makes sense. I think you're fine. I mean, yeah, Russ probably as good of a pickup as you probably could have found. And the only thing I would consider is, like we said before, Noah Brown over Deontay. Okay, team looks good other than that, man. Jacob, one quarterback league, Tua, Kyler. Got two offers for Kyler. One is Ford, the other is Waddle. Would you do either of these trades? I would. I mean, it's always nice to have a backup quarterback, I guess. But you're going to start Tua every week. He had his bye week. Barring any injury, which he's played smart this year. Offense has been better protecting him. You're going to start Tua every week, right? It depends on how badly you need the additional running back or wide receiver. So I think it's fair value, but it might be smart to hold. I mean, I don't know. If your trade deadline's this week, then you can't hold him. But yeah, he might start to fire up a little bit more. But I think both trades, based off what he did last week, is fair. But he could see more value in the next coming weeks. But it depends. Do you need the running back or wide receiver help? You know. You are welcome, Warrack. Always happy to help you guys. Start Burrow or Fields? I'll go Burrow. Better matchup for Fields, though. Man, I just don't like Thursday night matchups. It's a bad matchup for Burrow. Maybe, I don't know. I'll say Burrow's the floor play. Fields gives you the upside, but it's just tough to bench Burrow. Trade Gibbs, Addison for Bijan and Dell. I mean, I'd rather have Dell than Addison. I'd rather have Gibbs and Bijan. Wow. Saying that out loud is weird. I'd probably just hold here. Have Nico and Monty. I mean, yeah, I guess that's kind of annoying either way for the trade, but I'd probably hold because I think Addison's value is going to continue to go up. I think he's just going to be fine. It's close. I mean, if you like the other side, I think it's a pretty lateral trade if you want to go for it. But I still think right now the player I want the most is Gibbs. Yeah, I think I'd rather have Gibbs than Bijan right now. I'd rather have Dell than Addison, but that could change. Dylan, what's going on, my guy? Got a tricky trade situation. Bring it to me. We are starting to wrap up here, guys, the next couple minutes, but Let me know what you guys need. Running backs are Mixon, Javante, Hendo, Gibby. Receivers are Amon Ra, D Hop, Terry, Flowers, Sutton. Yeah, we're still kind of waiting for Waddle to like show up this year, and it's getting late. But yeah, I mean, I think you need more running back help than wide receiver help. Because you can start Amon Ra, Terry, and flex Sutton every week, and Flowers and D Hop are fine on the bench. I think you need more running back help. And it's not like Waddle has really been great this year, but he could at any point get fully healthy or whatever. It's been wrong, and he's fine. I think you need more running back help though. But I do think Waddle has more upside, and I think Waddle brings more upside to your roster. So if you like that, I say go for it. But and I don't know, Hunt's been eating into Ford's carries, and now like we don't know what this Browns offense is going to look like. They might be fine. They might not be. I don't know. If you like this trade, I say go for it. Burrow or Herbert, if it's Justin Herbert. I mean, trust me, Burrow's fine, but you got to start Justin Herbert every week. He's been playing way too good. Okay, so this was sent to you, Dylan. Redraft trade Andrews, Mixon, Cook for Kelsey, Bijan, and Algier. So you got Stroud, Pollard, Mixon, Cook, Herbie, Hunt, Spears, Diggs, Ayuk, Hollywood, Downs, Reed, Andrews, and McBride. This is tough because initially we see Kelsey and Bijan, and your mind starts thinking, yeah, I think Algier is pretty worthless at this point in redraft. Cook's not great, but he's better than Algier. I'd rather have Bijan than Mixon, and I'd probably still rather have Kelsey than Andrews, but Andrews has been the better fantasy tight end, believe it or not, so far on the season. But I think the thing that separates this trade for me is the fact that you have Andrews and McBride. We all know what Kelsey is. You know what you're going to get. But man, like Andrews and McBride are like right there right now. Like McBride and Kincaid, like as good as any tight end right now. I know you don't have Kincaid, but just for example, I don't know if I do it because Mixon's fine. I mean, you got Pollard, Mixon, so like you could use a guy like Bijan to give you some upside, even though he's been up and down lately. I don't know if I do it, bro. Oh, just for Kelsey and Bijan, like, that doesn't really change anything for me because Algier is worthless to me. Um, I I don't think I do it because you lose some running back. I mean, I don't know. Then you'd have if you do the trade, right? You have Stroud, Pollard, Bijan starting with Kelsey at tight end, then Diggs, Ayuk, then you flex like Hollywood, right? Then you have Kelsey and McBride. I mean, if something happens to Pollard or Bijan, then like you go to like just these pure handcuff committee guys. And Pollard hasn't even been good lately. Oh man. That is like super, super, super close. Pollard, upcoming schedule, very good this week. Then he gets Washington, Seattle, Philly, Buffalo, Miami, Detroit. It's kind of up and down. Man. I mean, do you feel good about it? If you do, I think you can do the trade. So, like, I mean, when you look at your roster, you see Kelsey and Bijan, you probably feel better. But like I said, like Andrews has actually produced better fantasy wise. And I wonder if Mixon is ahead of Bijan. He might actually be. Bijan is the RB10, so I don't think he is. Mixon's RB18. I was off on that. I don't know. If you like it, I think you can do it. I think you can. But you just kind of you really limit your RB depth if you do the trade. So you have to be prepared for that. And like I said, Pollard hasn't been great at all. He hasn't been awful. He's getting a lot more, crap than he may deserve on the entire season. But the last couple of weeks been rough. If you feel good about it, I think it's okay. because I think you could use upside at running back. So I think you can do it. It's close, bro. So I do with Kenneth. I mean, if you want to sell him, do it. He's coming off a great game. I told you guys don't sell him before this matchup against Washington, and he produced in it. You want to sell him, you can. If you're going to hold him, he's going to get the volume even in those tough matchups coming up. Yeah, that's a good point. Bijan is a great playoff schedule. Yeah, Arthur Smith makes me ashamed that I've been growing a mustache. Start Tank Dell or Chris Godwin. I go Tank Dell. Give me the upside. Have Kincaid and Laporta. Should I trade either for a running back? What do you think? Good for either? I mean, Kincaid's been like showing up more lately, giving more upside, so you can probably get a better running back for him. But you should really be able to get like any like decent RB2 for either of these guys. I mean, Kincaid's the tight end 13. Not that the rankings really matter. Laporta's a tight end 7. You should be able to get a pretty like Rashad White, David Montgomery, someone in that tier. You should be able to get like straight up. You might even be able to get a better player. Like I said, Kincaid, the recency bias is there. You might even be able to get a player like Pollard or Walker if you really want to. So, I mean, I think tight end depth is okay as long as you're not going past 2 players. But yeah, you're welcome, Shane. I want to move McBride. I do think it's worth keeping him on your roster. Close call. I mean, it's time to do it, right? Your trade deadline's probably here. But what could I get for him? Oh, Kenneth. It's so weird. Like, you're gonna have to target a team that is struggling at running back who needs the help because this upcoming schedule is not great. I think he can produce against the Rams this week, but it's just close, man. It's tough. You need to really look at teams that need a running back, and I still think you can get a pretty decent caliber player with him coming off the big game and his overall rankings on the year. Just hope they don't look at his upcoming schedule. I'm trying to move McBride in a depth piece for a better running back. Yeah, I think if you can pull that off as well, the trade is okay for sure. Patrick, 10-man PPR, 5 and 5, excuse me. Trade Monty for Hollywood plus Javonte. You got Eckler, Connor, Cook, Sharp, Diggs, Olave, DK really down. So if you do the trade, you'd have Eckler, Connor, Cook, Sharp, Javonte, Diggs, Olave, DK really downs, Hollywood. I believe in Monty. Are there people out there saying you should sell Monty? I don't believe that, but I mean, it's a fair enough trade. I do think Monty's the best player involved, but you get enough depth back that it's fine. Should I drop Hollywood for Pollard? It depends. Do you need the low-end wide receiver or the low-end running back? Pollard available in your league. I would scoop him up, though. There's too much upside, but just don't forget what Hollywood did with Kyler last year. I mean, they're both fine to own. It just depends. Do you need the running back or wide receiver? Running double tight end this week. Kincaid in my tight end spot. Trey McBride in my flex. Would you start Hendo over either one? No, I wouldn't. Start Zay Flowers tomorrow, Rashee Rice. I would start Rashee Rice. Great matchup for Rashee Rice this week. He's a must-start wide receiver to me. Yeah, give me the tight ends. Give me Rice. You're welcome, Dylan. No problem, man. Tough call, though. A-Chain for Mike Evans and B-Rob. If you need the help at wide receiver, I would consider that trade. I mean, I'm all about Devon A-Chain. Okay, when he got drafted to the Dolphins, I was pounding the table for Devon A-Chain all offseason long. Like, not a lot of people were. Great fit for that offense. I've loved him from the get-go. But this is a fair trade. B-Rob is the RB6 off the top of my head in PPR. Mike Evans been balling out. If you need the depth and help, it's fine. Mixon and Stroud for Hurts. Other running backs are A-Chain, Swift, Walker. If you want to, you can. I mean, it's Hurts. Like, I'm never going to tell you to not trade for a player like that. Stroud's a QB9, Hurts a QB2. Stroud has 3 really good matchups in a row at home coming up. I mean, I do think Mixon's helpful here. You've still got 3 running backs who are a little bit injury prone, although most running backs are. It's close. Like, the separation at quarterback's not that intense. Mixon's a good depth piece here. It's close. If you want to do it, it's okay, but I don't think you have to. We do a roster review of my 1 QB catch fam team. The Dynasty. Let me know if it's the Dynasty one. I'm assuming it is. But I guess if you're in the redraft tournament, that's also 1 QB. Would you trade Moore and McBride for Adams? No. I think Moore and Adams are kind of close, and McBride is nice. If you're really good at tight end, I guess you could. Would you trade T-Law and Saquon for Fields, Ford, Ingram? Wow. It depends on your other running backs. If you're like in a pretty good spot at running back, you can do it. I mean, Saquon's still going to have games this year where he's fine. He's going to have games like last week where he's bad. It's going to be up and down. Ford, I don't know, man. Like, Ford is now in a situation where his starting quarterback's hurt. I'd rather have Fields than T-Law right now, as much as it pains me. And Ingram's a nice little touch. Victor, thank you for subscribing and hitting the thumbs up. I appreciate that. Hope you've been enjoying the stream. And happy to help you, man. Got some tough decisions this week. Full PPR, Burrow or Sammy Howell. Sam Howell's the upside play. Burrow's the floor play. Who should I keep? Nico Collins or Rashad White? Wait, Nico at flex and Rashad at RB2. Do I throw B-Rob at RB2? I mean, I think B-Rob is pretty much a must-start running back every week. So I would start Brian Robinson. The Giants are giving up the 4th most fantasy points to opposing wide receiver or opposing running backs. You can keep Nico in there. I mean, if anything, there's an argument to sit Rashad White because he is the worst matchup here. Might want to do that. Collins gets the Cardinals. B-Rob gets the Giants. I love Rashad White. I think he's fine this week because he gets those dump-off passes. But, man, I might go B-Rob and Collins. Shane Dynasty. Yeah, give me a sec. Oh, did you post it for me? Look at that. What a guy. All right. I don't know if it even helps. You guys can barely see it, but I pulled it up. Why do I feel like this is not the full team? I think we're missing a picture. Hold on. I'll pull it up on Sleeper. Just let me filter through my 15 leagues. 1 QB league. And let me make sure. There we go. Okay, I got it here. I think. Bro, you're number 1 in the league. Your team is fine. Okay. Right? Let's see here. Hold on. Okay. Cool. Okay, you got Hurts. One quarterback league. You got Goff and Dobbs, so you're good there. I mean, even in 1 QB leagues, I think you can always add depth at quarterback, but obviously much more valuable and important in double QB or super flex leagues. Connor Jones, Zeke, Gus, Chandler, Jarby. Yeah, you losing Chubb was tough, but you've gone through it. Obviously, you've only lost 2 games or 3 games. I think that's fine, but obviously, I don't put a ton of emphasis on running backs in Dynasty, but yeah, I mean, you're going to need running back help at some point. You got some aging assets here. D-Hop, Chase, Hill, Sutton, Myers, Deontay, can't guard Mike. Keenan Allen, Jesus Christ. Yeah, you're good there, even with having to start D Hop. But even you can start Deontay or Myers, I guess. Not really. Um, your wide receivers are great. I mean, like some of these guys are kind of aging, but it just doesn't matter. I don't think. Logan Thomas, this is tight end premium, and Goddard being hurt has hurt you. You lost Ertz, Shoemaker, Hutchinson on the taxi squad. No first rounders next year, but at least you have one pick next year. I mean, that helps. No first rounder in 2025. But yeah, this was definitely a good team to roll the dice with. I think it's paying off. I mean, I don't know, man. In terms of contending teams, you're probably the best looking squad. Hey, look at me. I'm number 4. I mean, Mike's got a pretty good squad, and Godfather's always finds a way to win no matter what format it is. My team's okay, I guess. Yeah, I like your squad a lot. The wide receivers and then having Hurts is just ridiculous. So, team looks good. Contending. You got a good shot to go all the way this year. Jackson, I got Kelsey. Feels bad for him to sit on the bench. Never good. Should I trade White and Warren for Jacobs and Dell? I mean, if you need the extra wide receiver, sure. Other running backs are Gibbs and Mixon. So be given. I think you can do that trade if you feel good about it. What to do with Howe with a bye week one of playoffs? Hopefully, find another quarterback. Man, what a weird. Don't they know we play fantasy? There should be no bye weeks allowed in week 15. Walker and Cup for Eckler. I think that's fair. You got Diggs, Brown, and Pittman. I mean, Cup's going to be fine with Stafford back. I think Walker will still get the volume, probably be okay, but I'd rather have Eckler. Wide receivers look good. Sure. What's up, Derek? Dell or Hollywood rest of the season, half PPR. I mean, half PPR, you always want to look at who could more than likely find the end zone. I'll go Dell by a hair. I'll go Dell. Losing Goddard, never good feeling. Looking to send Tua and Hollywood for Dell and Allen. I would do that. Lost to an F and you this year. Playing an F this week. Hard matchup. Yeah. Good old Michael. Michael, if you're out there. I don't know. Michael always snipes me an underdog in real or mock drafts. So it's my nemesis. But just kidding. You're the man, Mike. All right. So back to the bottom of the chat again. We went like 30 minutes longer than I expected to, but I really appreciate you guys hanging out tonight, talking fantasy, and I appreciate all the fantasy questions. I do have to, I have some work I have to do before tomorrow, and I got to get up early tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and close out the stream for the night. But yeah, thank you guys so much for the fantasy questions tonight. Great stream tonight. Happy I got to stream earlier than usual tonight. And I just really appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to try and help you guys this week with your fantasy lineup. So if you guys are new to the channel, hope you guys subscribed. Hope you guys enjoyed the content in the stream. Hope you guys are back for more. Be sure to hit the like on the way out. Discord link, completely free, down below. Follow us on Instagram. Best ways to reach me and for me to reach you guys throughout the year. So that'll do it for tonight's stream. Love you guys, man. Love this community. Love the Catch fam. I'll talk to you guys soon. With that, I will say thank you guys thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on the Catch. And peace.